Judicial reforms in Pakistan, challenges and the way forward. The judiciary is one of the three pillars of the state, entrusted with safeguarding the constitution, ensuring justice, and upholding the rule of law. In Pakistan, the judicial system has been central not only to legal decision making, but also to the broader political, social, and economic trajectory of the country. Over the decades, however, Pakistan's judicial system has faced structural inefficiencies, institutional bottlenecks, political pressures, and capacity issues that have hindered its ability to deliver timely and effective justice. Despite numerous reform efforts, the system still struggles to meet contemporary demands. The need for meaningful and comprehensive judicial reforms is now more urgent than ever. This essay examines the historical evolution, current challenges, and possible solutions for judicial reforms in Pakistan. It highlights how administrative improvements, digitization, accountability mechanisms, and depoliticization can pave the way toward a more efficient, transparent, and people-centric judiciary. Historical background of Pakistan's judicial system. Pakistan inherited its judicial structure from British India. The system was based on the common law tradition, emphasizing court precedents, an adversarial procedure, and a hierarchical court structure. Over time, Pakistan has modified this inherited system through constitutional amendments, judicial precedents, and legislative measures. However, these changes have not always been systematic or coordinated. Instead, the reforms have sometimes been reactive, introduced in response to crises rather than proactive vision. Since independence, Pakistan has alternated between civilian and military rule, affecting the autonomy of the judiciary. At times, the judiciary has validated unconstitutional takeovers through doctrines like the doctrine of necessity, undermining its credibility. At other moments, especially in the post-2007 lawyers' movement era, the judiciary emerged as an assertive institution attempting to counterbalance political forces. Yet this assertive role also brought challenges, including accusations of judicial activism, institutional overreach, and politicization of judicial decisions. Given this complex background, understanding the existing judicial challenges requires acknowledging the historical interplay between law, politics, and society.
Major challenges facing the judicial system in Pakistan. 1. Case backlog and delays. Perhaps the most widely recognized challenge is the massive backlog of cases. Millions of cases are pending at various levels: district courts, high courts, in the Supreme Court. Delays in justice undermine public trust and violate the principle that justice delayed is justice denied. The reasons are multifaceted. Understaffing, procedural complexities, outdated laws, and limited use of technology all play a role. Many cases linger for years, and some even span generations. 2. Outdated procedural laws. Laws such as the Civil Procedure Code, or CPC, and Criminal Procedure Code, or CRPC, originally drafted in the 19th century, continued to govern judicial processes. While amendments have been made periodically, the procedural framework remains slow, excessively formalistic, and vulnerable to exploitation. Lawyers frequently use adjournments, technical objections, and procedural loopholes to delay proceedings. Without a modernized legal structure, court efficiency remains constrained.
3. Limited access to justice. A significant portion of Pakistan's population, especially in rural areas, faces barriers to accessing justice. These include geographical distance from courts, lack of legal awareness, high litigation costs, and the complexity of legal procedures. Women, minorities, the poor, and marginalized groups are disproportionately affected. A system that is not accessible cannot fulfill its constitutional role. 4. Weak accountability and transparency mechanisms. Judicial accountability has long been a sensitive issue. While independence of the judiciary is essential, a balance must be maintained so that judges remain answerable for misconduct or inefficiency. The Supreme Judicial Council, the SJC, responsible for judicial accountability, is often criticized for being slow, opaque, and rarely effective. As a result, the perception of unaccountable judges creates mistrust among the public.
5. Political influence and institutional pressures. Judicial decisions in Pakistan often occur in a politically charged environment. Governments have historically attempted to influence judicial appointments, decisions, and institutional functioning. Political polarization can seep into judicial processes, affecting impartiality. Moreover, controversies surrounding the appointment of judges through the Judicial Commission and Parliamentary Committee raise questions about transparency and merit. 6. Insufficient training and professional development. Judges, especially at the district level, often lack specialized training necessary for dealing with modern legal issues such as cybercrime, financial crimes, environmental law, and human rights concerns. Judicial academies do exist but need strengthening, modernization, and consistent professional development programs.
7. Inadequate infrastructure and technology. Many courts still operate manually, with paper files, slow documentation processes, and poor courtroom facilities. The absence of digital case management systems makes record-keeping inefficient and vulnerable to tampering. Without technological integration, such as e-filing, virtual hearings, and centralized databases, the judicial system cannot keep pace with modern demands. 8. Understaffed courts. Pakistan has an alarming shortage of judges relative to its population. The judge-to-population ratio is far below international standards. Fewer judges naturally mean more delays, higher stress, and reduced quality of judgments.
9. Lack of alternative dispute resolution, ADR. Countries worldwide have embraced ADR methods such as mediation, arbitration, and conciliation to reduce the burden on courts. In Pakistan, ADR exists in theory but is rarely used effectively. Litigants and lawyers often prefer traditional litigation, which is slow and costly.
The need for judicial reforms. Judicial reforms are not merely administrative improvements. They are essential to strengthening democracy, improving public trust, and enabling economic development. Investors consider judicial efficiency when evaluating business environments. Citizens rely on courts to protect fundamental rights. Without reforms, Pakistan risks not only legal inefficiency, but also social and political instability.
Proposed reforms, the way forward. 1. Digitization of the judicial system. Modernizing Pakistan's judiciary through technology is essential. Key steps include introduction of e-filing systems for petitions and documents, digital case management systems to track case progress,
Online cause lists and automated notifications to reduce confusion, video conferencing and virtual courts for remote hearings. These reforms will reduce corruption opportunities, speed up trials, and create transparency. 2. Increasing the number of judges. To reduce backlog, Pakistan must significantly increase the number of judges at all levels. This requires expanding judicial academies, increasing budget allocations, and offering competitive salaries to attract qualified professionals. A better judge-to-population ratio would drastically improve case disposal rates. 3. Reforming procedural laws. Modernizing laws such as the CPC and CRPC is critical. Reforms should limit unnecessary adjournments, simplify evidence and witness procedures, introduce strict timelines for case progression, allow for summary judgments in straightforward cases. Legal reforms must reflect contemporary realities rather than outdated colonial structures. 4. Strengthening judicial accountability. A transparent and credible accountability mechanism is essential. The Supreme Judicial Council should publish annual reports of complaints and outcomes, follow clear timelines for reviewing misconduct cases, include input from senior judges, legal experts, and possibly representatives from civil society. Accountability strengthens, not weakens, judicial independence.
5. Depoliticizing judicial appointments. Appointments must be based strictly on merit and integrity. This requires reviewing the structure of the Judicial Commission, enhancing transparency in appointment criteria, ensuring equal representation from bar councils, judiciary, and legal academia. A depoliticized system will restore confidence in the judiciary.
6. Improving legal education and judicial training. Judges, lawyers, and prosecutors must receive proper training, especially in emerging areas of law. Bar councils should raise standards for legal education, improving quality and integrity in the profession. Judicial academies should offer continuous professional development through workshops, courses, and international collaborations. 7. Promoting alternative dispute resolution, ADR. Effective ADR mechanisms can drastically reduce case burden. Pakistan should make mediation mandatory before certain types of cases go to trial. Train mediators and arbitrators. Introduce community-based dispute resolution centers. ADR offers faster, cheaper, and more amicable resolutions and can improve public confidence in the justice system.
8. Ensuring access to justice. Government and judiciary should focus on setting up mobile courts in remote areas, providing legal aid for the poor, simplifying court language to make it understandable for ordinary citizens. A justice system that is accessible empowers the people and strengthens constitutionalism. 9. Reforming police and prosecution systems. Judicial reform cannot occur in isolation. Police and prosecution departments must also be strengthened. Efficient investigations and competent prosecutors are essential for timely justice, especially in criminal cases. Coordination between police, prosecution, and courts must be enhanced through shared digital platforms and standardized procedures. 10. Enhancing court infrastructure. New courthouses with proper facilities, waiting areas, digitized record rooms, adequate security, and comfortable environments can improve efficiency and dignity in judicial proceedings. Investment in infrastructure is not an expense, but an investment in rule of law.
Expected outcomes of judicial reforms. Effective reforms would bring several long-term benefits. Reduction in case backlog through faster disposal. Improved public trust in courts and the justice system. Strengthened democracy through predictable and impartial judicial decisions. Economic growth due to investor confidence in legal protections. Increased access to justice for marginalized groups. Ultimately, a functioning judiciary is the backbone of a stable society.
Conclusion. Judicial reforms in Pakistan are essential for restoring public trust, ensuring timely justice, and strengthening democratic governance. While the challenges are significant, ranging from outdated laws and case backlogs to political pressures and weak accountability, these obstacles are not insurmountable. A comprehensive strategy combining digitization, legal reforms, accountability mechanisms, and depoliticization can transform Pakistan's judiciary into a robust, transparent, and efficient institution. The way forward requires cooperation among all state pillars. The judiciary must champion reform. The parliament must legislate with clarity and foresight. The executive must allocate resources and respect judicial autonomy, and civil society must hold institutions accountable. Only through collective commitment can Pakistan build a justice system worthy of its constitutional promise, to provide justice for all, without delay, discrimination, or compromise.